So just a quick video. I've noticed a lot of people cleaning out the radiator essentially for the aircon. People start to hear like weird noises and stuff. So I thought this was going to take a while, but it actually was really quick, hence why I've already got the sort of front boot out. But I'll just essentially talk you through it. You take the front boot out, and it is a matter of, you've got these two bolts here, 10 mils, behind this panel. So when you open your front boot, you'll see there's like a panel here, and there's a light. Yeah, that's the connector for the light. So essentially, you undo these two bolts. There'll be another two bolts, yeah, here and here. That's obviously, you'll see that, yeah, in your frunk. So the panel that I'm talking about is this. This is what you will see. That's the panel that you can remove by hand first to undo these two bolts. These two bolts, yeah, here and here. Yeah, that is the two bolts that I was talking about, there and there. And then you have another two bolts which are inside those holes. Again, all 10 mils, yeah, which are there and there. I mean, it doesn't matter. Obviously, I'm showing you in the car. It doesn't really matter. Yes, what you're obviously seeing. That's what you're seeing. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously under there. 5, 6, and you have one more that is on that little nub in there. Yeah, and that links onto here. Everything else just comes out by clips. Yeah, including the sort of funnel that clips on here. Yeah, so I know I'm showing you this in a bit of a weird way, but it will probably make more sense to people, to be honest with you. So this obviously clips back on there. Yeah, and then your frunk, yeah, it's just those bolts. So what I did, people watch there before it gets damaged. What I did, I've got a Makita dryer. I use this to dry the car because what I've noticed is the paint is actually quite soft, and even using a drying towel brings up little scratches and stuff. So I use that to dry the car. So essentially, once you've got to this point, which all you've got to do is remove that front boot, or the fruit, yeah, as my family calls it. Once you've done that, the radiator is under here. So you want to be quite careful not to press down on this and obviously break this plastic shelling. But essentially all you need to do, okay, is lift and pull at the same time. You can hear that there, and that's me clipping it back in. I've cleaned under there now, okay, but you sort of do that there. 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Yeah, you've got to do one side at a time, so try and pull and pry at the same time, because it just wants to go back on. And then you've got these clips here. So all you need to do, you don't need to pinch both, push this top one down, yeah, and pull out at the same time. It doesn't come out very far, but it's just far enough for that nozzle to fit in there. I had leaks pretty much all here on my driveway, so I had all this debris, leaves, little twigs, I had all sorts. I had quite a lot in there. So that's all cleaned out now, and I've also bought a grill that goes on the front here, and essentially stops any more ingress of stuff. I mean, you can see that there's still like little bits of twigs and stuff, which I'll get before I put that on. But from it being absolutely rammed with leaves and stuff, it's not doing too bad. That was ideal for me. I've seen people use pressure washers. I've seen people use all sorts of crazy stuff. And I don't feel using a pressure washer is probably the best idea, because you can bend those fins, the radiator fins, you can bend those quite easily. So you need to be quite careful with it. But it's not a difficult job. I don't know how much Tesla charges, if they were to charge you for this. I've no idea. But at the same time, what you can also do is just do a little bit of maintenance. Have a little look at the battery terminals. Yeah, that's your 12-volt battery. Make sure that's all sound. You've got your coolant. Yeah, obviously not engine coolant. Yeah, but for your battery, you see mine there is literally smack bang on the max. If that is going down, that is a indicator for you that there is a leak in your coolant system. The coolant system, it's sealed, so coolant shouldn't leak. It doesn't evaporate like in an engine, if that makes sense. So you can check that. Obviously at the same time, you can check, yeah, the little inlet here, air inlet for rubbish, yeah, get rid of that. You can also check your brake fluid, which mine is still a really nice color, yeah, and pretty much, yeah, I'd say just off of maximum. Yeah, so could top that up in about 6 months or so, but again, with regen braking, you don't really sort of utilize the brakes anyway. So yeah, it just gives you a good opportunity to have a little look at what it's like under here if you've not been under here. Check your coolant, check your battery, yeah, check your brake fluid, and then happy days. Give it a little cursory look in here, make sure everything's sound. But I was really impressed with using that. People have tried to stuff brooms down there and all sorts and smashed all this sort of plastic, and they've had to go to Tesla and get it all. Some people even removed the entire front bumper to do that, which is mental for me. But that nozzle, yeah, about halfway down, yeah, fits in here, and it just blasts everything back out here. And the good thing is you can feel it working. So I stood here, and as I'm sending air that way, I can feel the air hitting my legs, and all the debris was coming out. So I know that's nice and clean now, so I can put that back on, yeah, get that little twig there that seems to have just got stuck, get that out, and then I've got the grill. In fact, I'll show you the grill that I've purchased and how it's different. So just quickly, that is the grill. So it's exactly the same, yeah, as the grill up there, but it's got more of a honeycomb feature, but it's the mesh that they've pretty much glued onto the back of here, yeah, which essentially will stop bugs, twigs, leaves, all that sort of stuff getting in. And it comes in two parts. It clips onto the original. You don't have to remove the original, it clips onto the original, and this just helps stick it in place. Yeah, and you get two bits. There's one half, yeah, and there's the other, and it just fits in. Yeah, just like you're not getting any cosmetic value out of it. You know, you're not getting any cosmetic value out of that part whatsoever. It is more functionality. So I'll put this back on now. It will literally take 2 minutes. Just bear in mind, one important note, when you're taking the fruit, as we call it, when you're taking that off, pry these ones off. So these go obviously at the top. Yeah, pry these ones off really carefully. Yeah, because they are quite brittle. Yeah, so pry these off, take all the bolts out, pry it off from here, work your fingers, yeah, underneath, just like this, and they'll pop off nicely. Yeah, as long as you're gentle, just slide your fingers along and it'll all just pop off nicely. Yeah, so hopefully that helps.